Okay.
Right on time, Peter.
If we're ready, I'll call the meeting to order. If we could do a roll call, please.
Right, Commissioner Blako,
Present.
Commissioner Chesney,
Present.
Commissioner Travilicek,
Here.
Commissioner Gower,
Here.
Commissioner Johnson,
Here.
Commissioner Reed,
Here.
Commissioner Taylor,
Here.
and Commissioner Vanderbilt.
Here.
So we have a quorum. Thank you. So Chris, will you lead us in the pledge? And
Absolutely.
I'll mute and
I'm going to mute. Actually, I'll share my screen first and then mute. Oops, it went away. Damien, can you mute everybody? Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Mute. And then unmute myself. All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Hopefully that worked.
thank you. The next item is for possible action is to approve the agenda.
Commissioner Vanderwell, move to approve the agenda.
Commissioner Gower, second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Item 4 is public comment. Do we have any public comment?
Do not have any public comment for this item.
Okay, thank you. One of these days you're going to surprise me and tell us that.
One of these days, I want to tell you we have
One
some.
of these days. Okay. We're on to item 5, which is business of the day. Chris, if you would read that into the record, please.
Absolutely. Dear Regional Planning Commissioners, I have known Jeremy Smith for a number of years. He has accomplished his responsibilities as a planner and as the interim director of the Regional Planning Agency in an exemplary, proficient, and professional manner. When I have had questions regarding regional planning issues, he has always made himself available on the phone or in person. When asked, he has never hesitated to take the time necessary to educate me regarding planning processes. He has a quiet way of keeping decision makers on task and is not afraid to insert logic into the discussions. That steadiness is what the region needs at the helm of the ship that guides development in our Truckee Meadows and beyond. After reading all the applications, I see no reason to go outside the agency in a quest for a new director. Mr. Smith, without doubt, has all the necessary credentials. He knows full well the issues involved in an informative and neutral stance when directing his staff on behalf of the citizens of the region. As a planner, Jeremy has taken on many planning projects, as a result of which have made it easier for the commissioners and board to make informed decisions. 2 of the 4 applicants whom I believe have sufficient credentials and experience are currently employed in California. I believe we need a director who is familiar with our issues. We do not need more California influence in our regional planning arena. The gentleman currently serving in Fallon, Nevada, also appears to have sufficient credentials. However, I wonder if he is prepared for the politics involved in our region. The decision, of course, lies in your hands. I hope you will support Jeremy Smith. Sincerely, Marge Fran. That's a public comment received by staff, and it just occurred to me, and while reading it, that maybe you wanted me to read the item language into the record. So I can also do that.
Thank you. Thank you. But now you can do that.
Okay. So this is item 5A for possible action, Director of Regional Planning pursuant to NRS, Nevada Revised Statute, Section 278.0266, consideration of and possible selection of 3 candidates for referral to the Regional Planning Governing Board.
Thank you very much. And this is an action item, and it's a hearing item. And I asked staff to ask all of you to rank your candidates So if you are okay with that, I am going to ask for your ranking of each of the candidates, and you can do it. I mean, applicant 1 is Cheryl Bilbray, applicant 2 is Colby Catalid, applicant 3 is Michael Johnson, and applicant 4 is Jeremy Smith. So if you want to just do it by number, you certainly can, or you can do it by name. Because what I'd like to do is see if we have a consensus amongst ourselves. And, you know, Jessica, if I'm getting offline, just let me know. Because it's up to us to forward up to 3 candidates for referral to the regional governing board. So Commissioner Blako, what are your rankings? Who's your first?
Sorry, just one moment. So I had Jeremy Smith as my first. Michael Johnson as my second. Cheryl Bilby as my third. And Colby as my fourth. Sorry, Colby Cataldi.
Okay, thank you. We just need to go to 3. So
Okay, cool.
Commissioner Chesney.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, my number 1 candidate is Jeremy Smith. Did you want background on how I arrived at that, or you just want to know?
Whatever you would like to do, Commissioner Chesney.
Okay, I've hired literally hundreds of senior and middle managers in my career. And so I built a matrix based on the requirements outlined in the posting, and then graded each applicant on their education, skills, knowledge, and abilities, and came out with Jeremy Smith has exceptional SKAs, meets and exceeds every condition of the posting. My number 2 is Michael Johnson. He meets the requirements of the posting. Reason for putting him ahead of my number 3 is that he is a Nevada citizen and a Nevada working in a position of management in Nevada government, so would be familiar with the NRSs and codes and regulations, and could come up to speed at a minimum amount of time. My number 3 was Colby Cataladi, and he meets all the requirements. Educationally, he's got Bachelor of Arts, Master of Arts. I could not bring Cheryl Bellerbury even on the screen because her background is environmental. Her SKAs don't even fit the job posting. And so those are my picks. Jeremy Smith 1, Johnson 2, Catalati 3.
Thank you, Commissioner Chesney. My rankings, my first candidate is Jeremy Smith. Very similar to what Commissioner Chesney said, is that his application packet and his experience base, he's far and away the strongest candidate. My second candidate was Michael Johnson, and my third candidate was Colby Catalid. By the end of the evening, we might even be able to say that last name correctly. Commissioner Gower.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My ranking is 4, 3, 2.
Commissioner Johnson?
Thank you, Madam Chair. My first ranking was applicant number 4, followed by second ranking of applicant number 3, and third was applicant number 2.
Thank you. Commissioner Reed?
Thank you. My first applicant was ranking was Jeremy. Second was Michael. I'm not going to say last names because I'm not going to get 3 right. 3 was Colby, and similar to how Commissioner Chesney felt, I did not think the final applicant, the first applicant, did not meet the minimum qualifications, so I did not rank her.
Thank you. Commissioner Taylor?
Thank you, Madam Chair. My ranking is 4-3-2. I do appreciate all the applicants' time and interest in the position. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Vanderwell?
Thank you. And I want to share that I have had the privilege that this will be the 4th Regional Planning Executive Director I've been able to work with. And what I really like about regional is that we have continued to promote from within. And I think that we should continue to stay that way. So my ranking is Jeremy, Michael, and then Colby. And I also disregarded Cheryl because of minimum requirements.
Thank you, Commissioner Vanderwell. So without exception, we ranked our first, we're unanimous in our rankings of our first and second candidates. So then, Jessica, if you could guide us, are we, just to confirm, we do need to forward 3 names?
Yes, Madam Chair, Jessica Prenti for the record. The governing statute requires that the Planning Commission send 3 names onto the Regional Planning Governing Board for their consideration and selection of the final person who will fulfill the position of the Director of Regional Planning. However manner you want to do that is up to your discretion. You can make that decision right here and now of which 3 names that's going to be. You'll just simply need a motion and a vote. If you want to take the process further, you can do that and schedule interviews if that's an appetite of this body. But you have the discretion to make that determination.
And just what I mean, the application packets were very complete. I mean, I was able to gather enough information out of their packets to, make a determination. I know that, I guess if, and we know Jeremy's work, if for some reason Jeremy didn't rise to the top, then maybe interviews would be in order. I personally don't see a need to do interviews. But I'll open.
Chair.
Commissioner Vanderwell.
I'm going to concur with you since it was unanimous on our first and second. I think it's, I don't think there's a reason to have a meeting unless there's any other commissioners that feel that I feel that the applications and resumes and the cover letters were detailed enough to thoroughly understand experience.
Mm-hmm.
This is Commissioner Chesney. I would have to concur with both of you. I spend a lot of time on these resumes. I spend a lot of time on my matrix, and nothing really floats to the top. We can spend a lot of money bringing folks in from California. No big deal with a fellow from out in Fallon, but Jeremy's qualifications they float to the top, way to the top.
If I'm,
So other than, unless it's a, Jessica, on your part, this being a public position, if it requires an interview, it certainly shouldn't be at the commission's level. If the governing board wants it, then let them have it.
There is no legal requirement to conduct interviews whatsoever. The statutes are very broadly framed. So this commission's statutory charge, is to forward 3 names. And if you have particular comments or that you want me to take forward to the governing board for any particular comment, I will be happy to carry that water.
Commissioner Blako and then Commissioner Taylor.
So when I did my rankings, I essentially ranked Cheryl and Colby pretty much the same. So I am not opposed to submitting Colby as our 3rd pick.
Okay.
Just to put that out there.
Thank you. Commissioner Taylor.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would just like to add a comment that when I did my review, Jeremy Smith, his qualifications were far superior to everybody else. So my gap between my number 1 pick and my number 2 pick is very large. If I could only submit 1, I would, but you asked for 3, so I gave you 3. So if the governing board wishes to look at those comments, those would be my comments, that there's a very clear choice in my mind based on the qualifications and experience presented. Thank you.
Commissioner Chesney, I concur.
Yeah, I would absolutely echo that. And any other comments from other commissioners with regards to interviewing? Okay, seeing none. So we are unanimous in our rankings then for our 1st candidate, 2nd candidate, and 3rd candidate. I would like the record to reflect that it was a unanimous ranking for our number 1, for all of them, and that we have very strong appreciation of the skill set that Mr. Smith brings to as moving from the interim to the permanent position. And he has had to navigate challenging activities and challenging stuff with the, he was always a part of the regional plan update, but he had to move from, being behind the scenes to moving in front of the scenes to shepherd this through. And he managed that very, very, very well. And I think that the agency is in strong hands with him. So are there other comments before I ask for a motion? Okay, I'll entertain a motion to move this slate forward.
Diane, you or me?
Madam Chair, Mr. Vanderwell, I move that we forward to the Regional Planning Governing Board our top 3 unanimous, Jeremy Smith, Michael Johnson, and Colby Catalade. So probably butchered it. So for consideration.
Commissioner Blake, I'll second that.
Thank you. It's been moved by Commissioner Vanderweel and seconded by Commissioner Blako. Is there any discussion on the motion? All those in favor?
Aye.
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 So it is a unanimous decision. And do you want the record to reflect comments that Jessica can move forward to regional governing? Now's your time to make those comments.
I concur with Commissioner Taylor's comment about the rankings between number 1 and number 2. So I would definitely like those comments forwarded.
Commissioner Vanderwell, I agree also.
Commissioner Chesney, I also agree, and you have my comments on the record. I can also, I did not do my matrix electronically, but I can put it together and forward it to our legal counsel if she would like that when she moves us forward.
Thank you, Commissioner Chesney. I don't think that's necessary, but if we reconsider, I'll let you know.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Appreciate the hard.
I would also like to express my support in retaining Jeremy in the position of director. I think he's done an amazing job, and I really couldn't see anybody else doing this as well as he has done.
And I mean, what I also really appreciate about his application and stuff, you know, some people who are in those interim roles think it's a foregone conclusion that they are going to be the successful candidates. So they kind of just phone it in. Jeremy did not do that. He put together an application packet that just was very professional and very reflective of his experience base. He took the application serious. Any other comments on this agenda item? Okay, thank you.
Actually, sorry, Commissioner or Madam Chair, just wanted
Yes,
to, in addition to echoing the comments on the applicants, I do want to, maybe not to forward necessarily, but I do want to compliment staff for the way that they both put the application materials together, all of the work that has happened from the time this started through both the way this was presented and the communication throughout the process. I definitely want to go on the record for that and make sure that that is passed along to the governing board as well. So thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Johnson. I concur with that. The staff has done a phenomenal job in doing all of this and doing all that redacting and all that. Any other comments? In this case, redacting was appropriate. Okay, we'll go to item 6A, members and directors report.
Just a couple items, just a reminder kind of for the July 23rd meeting. So that's this next Thursday at 6 p.m. And then I believe we have it listed on here, or it will be online as well. And then there will be 4 regular business items. Staff doesn't envision anything else, so there'll be 4 conformance reviews. And then moving on to the August meeting, I don't know if we'll have any conformance reviews for that one, but we will. We are bringing the annual reports and the new Truckee Meadows annual report version forward to the Regional Planning Commission. So that should be some hard-hitting information. Anyways, that concludes Director Report.
Thank you. And members reports? Okay. Item B, legal counsel report.
I have nothing tonight. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Item 7, request for future agenda items. Seeing none. Item 8, public comment.
Not trying to let you down this evening, but we have none for this item.
Okay. Item 9, written correspondence.
There is none.
Okay. Well, motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn, Chesney.
Second, Vanderwell.
Okay. Thank you, everyone. Have a great rest of your
Thank you, everyone. Good night.
Thank you.
night.
Bye.
See you next week.